about you is if you have ambition to be great. My job is to coach you to get all that greatness out of you.
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. Appreciate you all taking some time out of your Monday to come down here and hang out with me. Guys, it is a weekend that was full of not really a ton of news, and the news that was being talked about really wasn't worth anybody's time whatsoever. Of course, what am I talking about? I think it's absolutely hilarious. Well, hilarious and crazy that Jet fans specifically are out here celebrating this whole Zach Wilson thing like it's some major offseason W. I mean, are the Jets fans so desperate, and is their fan base, I don't know what else to say, what other word to use, riddled with that many losers that they think him getting outed by his ex-girlfriend as basically cheating on her with his mom's friend, if this is some kind of great big post, off-season W. I mean, we were hearing from these guys are so delusional. We were hearing about Elijah Moore and, this Elijah Moore connection with Garrett Wilson. People, Jets fans are actually out here saying it's going to be better than Tyreek and Waddle. Now they're out here celebrating Zach Wilson getting caught cheating on his ex-girlfriend with his mom's friend. I mean, this is what we're at right now. I mean, it's honestly, the Zach Wilson thing's already ran its course. Like, the memes are now overplayed officially. I think we can all agree with that. The memes are pretty much overplayed now. There were some funny ones for sure, but now it's just overplayed. And I'll be honest with you, at this stage of his career, like I tweeted out, at this stage of his career, Zach Wilson is more suited to be the MILF hunter than he is to be a professional NFL quarterback. I mean, what else can you really say? I mean, this is the best thing Zach Wilson's done as a pro, according to Jet fans. And boy, would have been interesting to talk to some female Jet fans and see how they feel, how they're the male Jet fans are on the side glorifying this stuff. It's crazy because you know why I get it's funny, but you know why I'm not, the whole Tua thing has kind of soured me on this stuff, because if this was Tua, all right, if this was Tua, by God, all right, that wouldn't have been his ex-girlfriend or whatever outing him. Tua would have shown up on, they would have brought cheaters back to syndicated television just so they could put him on it. I mean, let's be honest here. We would have seen Joey Greco come on the TV at Cheaters headquarters and talk about, some Christian professional athlete and the next thing you know, Tua would be on Cheaters, bro. That's what's hilarious about this. Tua would be on Cheaters. This thing would be plastered everywhere. Since this story has come out, I've seen CBS, ESPN. All of a sudden, Zach Wilson's being talked about. And like, I saw him being compared, like, only 3 quarterbacks over the last 5, over the last 5 games of the season attempted 100+ more passes and didn't throw an interception. And it was like Rodgers, Mahomes, and Zach Wilson. And then you look at Zach Wilson, the guy was throwing for like 130 yards a game. Stop. Right? What are we talking about right here, right now? I wouldn't throw an interception in 5 games in the NFL if everything was freaking horizontal at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. People think Tua don't push the ball. Go watch Zach Wilson. Good God almighty. It's crazy, bro. My quarterback would have been plastered on Cheaters with Joey Greco hopping out of a van, hunting him down, while Zach Wilson getting praised. It's unbelievable. I'm sitting here and Let's be honest here. You know, one's a blonde hair, blue eyed, pretty little white boy. And the other guy's, colored skin, Hawaiian, Samoan descent. And I don't even think it's the fact that the Christian, they're over here. Like, I don't know what it is with Tua, but this is literally Tebow all over again, except he's more talented than Tebow. But Tebow got the same amount of hate. And I don't know whether it's the religion. I have joked around about this before, but, the Illuminati must be real, and the media must be out here. Sports media must be involved in all these satanic rituals, because I don't understand the Tua hate, right? I didn't understand the Tebow hate much. I just understood where people were coming from a football sense. But people would come at Tebow like on a personal level. So I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy right now. We're out here. I don't know, man. Tua gets crapped on. Everyone sees an underthrow, and the video literally gets millions of views and just gets critiqued and criticized. And this guy's out here, and what's crazy is when you look into it, apparently he was with this girl, like they've been together like either since the beginning of their time at BYU or since like high school. You know what I mean? So, hey, I'm not here to judge. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I'm not here to judge Zach Wilson's situation. I'm not here whether he's a good guy or bad guy. All I'll say is he looks like he's a better MILF hunter than a professional NFL quarterback at this stage of his career. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa with a 60% hip had a better rookie season than he did. Well, let's call a spade on that one too, right? So I don't even get it. I don't even get the hate. It's just weird, man. It's weird energy. So, and Jet fans out here so desperate for a W that finding out that their starting quarterback, goes after Stifler's mom is the best thing they got going. I'll still say the best thing the New York Jets have is still Zach Wilson's own mother. You know what I mean? I mean, she's still the best Jet there is. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And, you got to remember, when I say that Christianity stuff or whatever, I'm not a Christian myself. So that's coming from an objective, unbiased outlook. Really, it is. I mean, I that's literally, it's down to two things. Either because he's a Christian or because he's not a white boy. Take your pick. I don't understand which one it is. You could be right either way at this stage. I don't know. But that's what we're dealing with our quarterback right now. This man would have been scrutinized 10 ways from Sunday if he would have done what Zach Wilson did. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. To be honest with you, I don't get it. Like, again, I'm not even a Christian. You saw it with Tebow. You see it with Tua. I mean, see, the thing is with Tebow, at least we could say, okay, well, he's not talented. He's not a good professional NFL quarterback. He's not going to be a guy. With Tua, you can't say that yet. So and Tua's got a better winning record than Tebow, has shown better qualities at the NFL level than Tebow. Looks like he's going to be a better professional quarterback than Tebow, undeniably. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Someone help me. Help me help you. Help me help you. All right? That's all I know what to say. I don't even know what else to say. Underground might be right. It might be maybe it's the face paint. Maybe it's the crosses and it's always in their face. I see, but then I say to myself, when people get inaugurated, when people win a Grammy, all they do is thank God and blah, 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 blah. Everyone wears the thanking God on their sleeve. But when it comes to sports, for some reason, if you're a quarterback and you're religious, ooh, and you wear your religion on your sleeve like that, I don't get it. I mean, I don't know. So, it is what it is. I mean, let's hope Zach Wilson's play is better on the field this year than it was last year. Either way, we still going to sweep the Jets. Just like we still going to sweep the Patriots. And just like we're going to split with the Bills. I'm still weary of that December game in Buffalo, right? When I see that all play out, you know what I mean? Then we'll see. Shout out to PNS Slots for a $1.99 donation. I appreciate you, homie. So I don't know, man. It's just confusing times we living in. Confusing times we living in. Adulterers are praised. Adulterers are praised. And don't you ever underthrow a football being a quarterback in the NFL. Ooh. Bro, how do you get slandered more for slightly underthrowing a football, which the best quarterback in the NFL right now, Patrick Mahomes, has done to the same receiver multiple times, yet an adulterer is praised and like put on this pedestal? Bro, someone explain this to me. Make it make sense. I'm so confused. I don't know, what world am I living in right now? I wake up and I pinch myself and I say, am I, is this reality? Did I wake up in another dimension? I don't get it. And then I won't try to get it. I won't, because I'm just going to go nuts trying to get it. So anyways, man, I just Jevon already a top 5, says Stevie T. Man, you ain't lying, bro. He's top 10 for sure. He's top 10 for sure. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but what's crazy is when we get into that article is it's a top 10 article, and we'll talk about it. It's about the top 10 safeties in the NFL. And what's crazy is Holland's omitted, but then in the honorable mentions, he's called already elite. And we'll talk about that. It kind of doesn't make a ton of sense. You know what I mean? So, everyone's getting all worked up in the chat right now about Christianity. About the Hammer talking about make-believe men. All right. Hey, don't get all worked up, man. I'm telling you, it's either going to be religion or race. Take your pick. That's what it comes down to right now. The guy's the nicest guy in the world. It's not like he's even Aaron Rodgers. Everyone knows I love Aaron Rodgers. Okay, until Patrick Mahomes came in, Aaron Rodgers to me was the best pure passer of the football in the NFL, and he might still be. But that guy got an attitude. That guy got a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? He'll tell you what it is. Tua, like the nicest guy in the world. Like even that don't even add up. Even that don't even add up. Right? If Tua was brash, arrogant, a little standoffish, you know what I'm saying? I would point to that and be like, okay, well, clearly they're just clapping back because of his attitude. But it's like the nicest guy in the real world. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Oh, man. So, anyways, I'll never understand it, but I mean, I guess shout out to the Jets for finally getting a W this offseason, according to them. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Is what it is. All I know is Tua gonna ball this year. And my expectations, that man needs to enter the top 12. Zach Wilson ain't even gonna enter the top 20. All right, let's lay that out for a sec. So, yeah, I mean, that's what's crazy. This is gonna be the best talking point. I'm not even joking. I saw someone today, they made a bet and they put hundreds of dollars down on Zach Wilson under 22.5 touchdowns and under 3,800 yards or like 3,600 yards or something like that. I was like, damn, under 22.5 touchdowns. Like, look at the faith of these, man. I'm going to tell you this right now. They should have taken Trey Lance or they should have taken Justin Fields. Zach Wilson, you go to the BYU film. And I said this, and remember, I liked Wilson coming out. but I still call it a spade a spade. And if you all remember, I was saying the Jets were going to draft him when people were like, oh, they'll take Panay or blah, 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 blah. And I was like, nah, man, I was locked in on Zach Wilson to the Jets for the longest time ever. Just like the year before that same year when I was locked in, when everyone was telling me, oh, Cincinnati's going to take Panay Sewell. And I was like, nah, B, they are going Jamar Chase. I was locked in on Jamar Chase. And I was like, oh, lineman. I'm like, nah, they're going Jamar Chase. Same thing right there. Anyways, Zach Wilson, if you watch this film, a lot of his good film came when he was making plays outside of the pocket off script. Now, I know at the next level, you're going to have to be able to do that to be successful because not everything is going to run to script. But the problem is when he sat in the pocket at BYU, he was not good. Like, not good at all. Like, when you looked at him off script, out of the pocket, totally different passer than what he was when he had time to sit in the pocket, go through his progressions, make his reads, and fire the football. So that's why I don't expect a ton from Zach Wilson because, honestly, Zach Wilson needed a Pep Hamilton. Zach Wilson needs a Darrell Bevel. Zach Wilson needs a quarterback coach and a quarterback guru that can help, get him better in the pocket. That's not a small task to undertake, and that is not a small trait to develop. Because remember, think of it. Because of his athleticism, it's not so much of a pocket presence as it is, okay, bail as soon as I see pressure. And there's a difference. You got to be able to maneuver and manipulate the pocket, whether moving side to side or up into it, to make throws and allow your progressions to play out. And if you're just going to bail every time to one side, you're obviously going to take the other side of the football field away because we don't want you throwing across your body. So until Zach Wilson shows me he can start dicing people from the pocket and he can start making legit plays from the pocket, I don't know. I got to see it at this level. I really do. I really, really do, man. So he's got physical traits to be good. That's for sure. He just needs coaching. Zach Wilson is the perfect example of situation matters. It's like Tua. Listen, 99% of players drafted situation matters. The other 1% are like unicorns where they can just go wherever and ball out. You know what I mean? But 99%, it matters. Tua situation was going to matter because he was a rhythmic passer coming out, and scheme was going to matter. Coaching was going to matter, etc. Right? Burrow, scheme was going to matter coming out of a West Coast scheme where he got where he had all of his collegiate success, right? And then personnel was going to matter with both Burrow and Tua. We've seen it with Burrow. Y'all see it with Tua this year, I'm sure, about how much personnel around them matters. You've seen it with Herbert, right? Herbert had Pep Hamilton year one, and he had the best personnel out of a lot of them. And he went off, and he won Rookie of the Year. And he's hit the ground running ever since. Ian Baller donated $1.99. He said, you heard what Dan Lebitard said about the Dolphins? No, I didn't, bro. Fill me in. Chase, yeah, it is. That 1% are unicorns, my dude. What's going on, Bobby? Hope you've been good too, bro. So you can't always depend. Just because someone's drafted in the top 5 does not automatically mean they're a unicorn. Situation matters. Chase Young, situation mattered. You know why Washington was such a good fit for Chase Young? Because schematically they ran almost identical an identical defensive scheme to what was being ran at Ohio State. Mattered. Right? Phillips has a little unicorn in him. I got to give props to Phillips. He got some unicorn in him because, like, we're hearing about he had to see a confidence therapist because of, how the coaches were basically treating him. And it was obvious they lost confidence in him. And the man still went out there and performed. So you got to give props to Jalen Phillips. He was a little bit of one. Ian Baller. Apparently, Dan Lebertard said he's all in for the Dolphins. I love it, baby. We all in. Let's go. If you all out, you ain't a fan. Wow. Shout out to Jim Barron for the $50 super sticker. Appreciate you, homie. Thank you very much, man. If you got a comment you want me to throw up here, let me know, my guy. I appreciate the donation, dude. Appreciate that a ton. So let's start getting into the news here and start hammering it out. Let's start off with the Jevon Holland story. And basically, I'm going to go over the whole article with you guys. It was an article because it's kind of confusing in a sense. Well, I'm not going to go over the whole article, but you'll see what I'm saying. So anyways, Jeremy Fowler, they've been doing this, right? Because we've gone over a couple of these top 10 lists, right? They've been asking execs, coaches, players make their picks for the best, at whatever position they focused on, right? So he said, we love best of lists, but if people around the NFL created their own, to preview the 2022 NFL season, we surveyed more than 50 league executives, coaches, scouts, and players to help us stack the top 10 players at 11 different positions, from edge rusher to interior offensive lineman. This is the third edition of these rankings, and there are several players who moved up or dropped from last year's list. Saturday, they focused on safeties. Here's how our process worked. Voters gave us their 10 best players at the position. Then we compiled the results and ranked candidates based on number of top 10 votes, composite average, hundreds of interviews, research, and film study, help from ESPN NFL analyst Matt Bowen. In total, more than 50 voters submitted a ballot on at least one position, and in many cases, all positions. We had several ties, so we broke them with the help of additional voting and follow-up calls with our rankers. Each section is packed with quotes and nuggets from the votes on every guy, and even with honorable mentions. The objective is to identify the best players right now for 2022. This is not a 5-year projection or an achievement award. Who are the best players today? Pretty simple. So, we've already looked at this. I believe we looked at, I want to say we looked at either corners or defensive tackles. Anyways, the safety position is looking up. Players are getting paid more, with the market rising from $15.25 million to $18.4 million per year over the calendar year, thanks to Minkah Fitzpatrick's 4-year, $73.6 million deal with the Steelers. That's because the job description is evolving. Safeties are asked to play the deep ball, play the run, cover running backs and tight ends, get the secondary organized, command a leadership role, manipulate the quarterback pre-snap, create the illusion of pressure at the line of scrimmage, and get interceptions wherever possible. These 10 players are the best of all at all of that. And the competition was steep. 23 players earned votes, and a normally high total of our top 10 process. Some are true ball hawk center fielders, while others are more like linebackers in the way they work the line of scrimmage. And too many good players just missed the cut. Let's look at some of the game's top safeties as ranked by executives, coaches, scouts, and players all around the NFL. So Justin Simmons was their number one guy. Last year, he was ranked number 2. Justin's top 3. I agree with that 110%. Minkah was number 2. Last year, he was ranked number 1. He's top 5. I'll give him top 5. Kevin Byard. I'm shocked by this a little bit, and I'll tell you why. So he was ranked 7th overall last year. He's jumped to number 3. I think he's good. I think he's top 10. But he is not better than Derwin James. I know Derwin's got injuries, but we're talking about healthy when you're ready to go. Derwin is better. Derwin is top 3 in the NFL, man. I'm taking Derwin over Byard. They got Budda Baker at 5. Buddha's, yeah, man. I would put Budda over Byard. I like Byard, but I'd put Budda. Jesse Bates, he's top 10. Cincinnati Bengals. I agree with that. Harrison Smith, probably slipped by a lot of people's rankings. Last year was ranked 5th. You look at Jesse Bates, went up from 10 to 6. Harrison Smith, solid, man. Solid. Marcus Williams from the Baltimore Ravens. Last year he was unranked. I do not think he's better than Jevon Holland. So I disagree with that. Antoine Winfield Jr. Last year he was unranked. They got him in the top 10. He's on the border. And Jamal Adams, last year ranked 4, this year ranked 10th. So if you want my honest opinion here, Marcus Williams is coming out of this. I'm swapping Marcus Williams and Jevon Holland. I'll stick with Jevon Holland at 8 right now. I'll put him on top 10 because he's going to enter top 5 after this season. I might even actually think he's better than Harrison Smith, but I'd put Jevon Holland at 8. I'd put Winfield at 9. I'd put Jamal at 10. I can agree with that. Honorable mentions, and this is where it gets real interesting. Jevon Holland, Miami Dolphins. Holland was excellent as a rookie, pushing for the top 10 after 2 interceptions, 2.5 sacks, and 11 pass breakups last season. Players making the jump to the top 10 after 1 out of season are top-billed talents who matched the hype, and Holland was close to joining them. Given what he's asked to do, he's elite, said a high-ranking NFL executive, citing his ability to hold down the back and for a blitz-heavy Miami attack. Really high upside, can find the ball, redirect in space. An NFL personnel evaluator said, I want to see him do it again before saying he's top 10. Bro, this is why I'm going to say he's top 10, and this is why I'm going to say he takes that 8 spot. He showed he can either man you in the center field in that blitz-heavy defense, or he can move up to the line of scrimmage and be arguably the best rusher from the safety position in the NFL. Him and Brandon Jones were the best last year at rushing. Two of the best last year at rushing the quarterback from the safety position. Okay, we're talking about 17 pressures for Brandon Jones, 16 for Jevon Holland. Right? They talked about the 2.5 sacks, but what about the 4 hits and 9 hurries as well? Right? Tied for second most quarterback hits in the NFL among safeties. The most hurries in the NFL among safeties, Jevon Holland. Second in sacks, and I believe he's second or third in sacks in the NFL as well among safeties. So, and you look at what that Baltimore game. How many rookies can, in recent memory, can you put on the tape and get something similar to what Jevon gave us in that Baltimore game? The only ones I can think of are at the top of that list. Derwin James early on in his career. He offered you that 110%. Right? Jesse Bates can do that. Minka can do that. And Justin Simmons can do that. Other than that, not a lot of guys on that list can give you what Holland gave us in that Baltimore game. And that was against a former MVP quarterback. So, yeah. Jevon Holland. See, that's what I don't get. Someone calls him already elite. Basically said he's elite. But other people out here saying, well, I got to see it in another season. Man, if the film is telling you he's elite, he's elite. That man's about to be an all-pro. That man is going to be an all-pro at that position. He is literally a mixture of Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu. And guess what? In the end, Jevon Holland is going to be the type of safety other players get compared to. They're going to say, are you the next Jevon Holland? Is this guy maybe the next Jevon Holland? Oh, player comp for this safety coming out, Jevon Holland. Jevon Holland going to pave his own lane with his own identity. Shout out to the fellow Canadian boy. Gotta love it, baby. So, I'm out here saying, if you're going to say Jevon Holland is elite already, if an NFL exec is telling you Jevon Holland is already elite, listen, he's already elite. I'm going to tell you this too. Jalen Phillips is already elite. Jalen Phillips had a better rookie season than Chase Young, and we all remember the Chase Young hype before and after that season. Jalen Phillips had a better season on far less snaps and in a defense that restricted him a little bit more. And he put up better numbers than Chase Young. We drafted 2 elite defenders in our first 3 picks. We drafted 3 elite players in 2021. Our first 3 players were all elite. All elite. I'm here for it, baby. I'm here for it. The homie returned. Barry Jackson came back with one of his 6-pack of notes, of articles, and it's the title of what this video is. National Analyst explains why Dolphin offense will be hell on wheels, and media notes. A 6-pack of media notes on a Monday. Talking heads on network television have generally been enthusiastic about the Dolphins' augmented offensive cast, but ESPN's Marcus Spears took it to another level, and good for him, by declaring the other day that this is going to be hell on wheels to try to get these dudes stopped with the amount of speed. There is nothing about this offense that defenses won't lose sleep over. Spears implored Coach Mike McDaniel to use Tyreek Hill like you've seen being used in destroy defenses. They've got another guy in Jalen Waddle that can destroy defenses in a very similar way. You got Mike Gesicki at tight end who wins 50-50 balls, who I think is going to be a phenomenal player. Not to mention a stalwart left tackle who came over in Taron Armstead. Tyreek Hill with the ball in his hands is one of the most devastating things in the NFL. And I agree. I mean, we've talked about this in length. I mean, you know, you're talking about guys out here. We're talking about legit 4.3 speed with Mozart, 4.2 speed with Waddle, Tyreek Hill. You know, we're talking about legit speed here. Legit speed. Even Gesicki, legit speed for his size. So, like, you got to ask yourself, as a defense, how are you going to roll coverage to one side? You're just leaving that other side just waiting to be chewed up. You know, it's going to be really interesting to see how defenses play us because, I mean, you can't double here, right? And we got guys who are going to beat you right off the line. So, man, as long as that, this is why it's imperative for our offensive line to be healthy and do their job. If they stay healthy and they do our job and that running game gets going, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The 33rd team, a think tank founded by ESPN analyst and former Dolphins executive Mike Tannenbaum, wrote an interesting piece exploring the extent of which Hill can help McDaniel get the most out of Tua Tagovailoa. Former NFL offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer told writer Peter Engler that pass run options are something that Tua has been doing from the time he was in high school. He did it at Alabama. He's been very good at it. The great thing about this is that it's easy completions for the quarterback. It's him coming out of the opening series or the first couple of series and you say, hey, I'm 7 of 8 and I really haven't done much to throw the ball deep downfield. I'm kind of taking what the defense gives me. I think this is something that's going to be really good to get Tua going early. What does it do for Tyreek? It gets him touches. Any play caller is going to have a sheet that says, I've got to get the ball to this guy, and there are the 12 to 14 ways I'm going to do it with a premier player like Tyreek Hill. And this is what I've been telling you guys for months. Like, this is literally what I've been telling you guys for months, right? Well, freaking years, never mind. Tua is a rhythmic quarterback, right? You want to come out of the gate and you want to give him easy completions because with a rhythmic quarterback in game, you want to build their confidence up. Easy completions early on does that. Then it gives you the confidence to test windows you weren't testing early on, to test deep down the field when you weren't testing it early on in the game, right? Rhythmic passers, which Tua Tagovailoa is the definition of confidence early completions in the game to build confidence is a necessity. That's why every time we've done it these last couple years, I've been telling you that's why they're doing it. And here you go. You got Brian Schottenheimer telling you that's why you do it. Right? So don't take it from reason. Go ahead and take it from Brian Schottenheimer. The 2021 Dolphins had the most run pass option attempts in the NFL last season and were 7th in yards per attempt on those plays per angler. And Hill had 20 RPO catches last season for Kansas City. Schottenheimer said of Tagovailoa, does he have the strongest arm in the NFL? No, he doesn't, but he also doesn't have to. Does he have enough arm strength? Yes, he does. They need to figure out which deep balls Tua throws best. He gives guys a chance to go fight for balls. He does a nice job on go routes, throwing it with anticipation, the inside fade, and he does a really good job on 50-50 passes. So, I mean, absolutely great stuff. Great stuff from Schottenheimer. And those are the highlights. That's why I didn't pull up the article here. Go check the article out if you want a good read. But right there, I mean, I've told y'all, it's not about if Tua can make the throws. He can make all the throws. It's about, can he consistently make the throws? Consistency is the key with Tua Tagovailoa this season. If he gets that consistency down, his pre-snap reads become more consistently right. Throwing to the intermediate level consistently better. Reading all three levels consistently better post-snap. If he does those things better consistently, we got something, baby. Oh, boy, do we got something. Amazon Prime has nearly finalized its talent lineup for its first season as the NFL's Thursday night rights holder, and it's a very strong group with all-time great Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit in the booth, and Fox's Carissa Thompson anchoring the studio show. Tony Gonzalez, Richard Sherman, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, former Dolphin, are expected to be studio analysts, and Akib Talib and Andrew Whitworth will have a role. Gonzalez is polished, but not particularly interesting. Says Barry, being honest, Barry. But Fitzpatrick, with his engaging personality and self-deprecating sense of humor, can become a star in this business if he says what he genuinely thinks instead of trying to preserve relationships with the hundreds of players with whom he shared locker room. So another thing for you guys, interesting, because I know a lot of people down there have DirecTV and such. Disney, Apple, and Amazon have all submitted bids to become the new rights holder for NFL Sunday Ticket, according to CNBC. DirecTV is entering its final season carrying Sunday Ticket. The NFL said Sunday Ticket will be available as a streaming service in 2023 and beyond, with games potentially to be carried on other platforms as well. Disney would carry the games on ESPN Plus, Amazon and Amazon Prime, and Apple on Apple TV. The NFL and this NFL Sunday Ticket rights holder presumably will find a way to continue airing games in restaurants and sports bars. And as PFT's Mike Florio noted earlier this year, the winning bidder likely would have the chance to sell satellite rights to consumers who don't have the internet service needed for reliable streaming. Unfortunately, there's no indication that the NFL will begin permitting viewers to pay to receive only their favorite team's games, as opposed to the entire package. CBS and Fox have reportedly have a contractual guarantee that Sunday Ticket will cost no less than $300 million. During the 2022 NFL season, DirecTV charged $300 for the base Sunday Ticket package and $400 for an event. I pay $20 a month for DAZN and I get everything. So, I mean, Jesus, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous that they are just gouging you guys down there with Sunday Ticket. My Lord. They are ruthless to you guys. Whew. $300, $400 for that? That is dumb. Like, I go to DAZN because DAZN, they have rights to like Premier League and such too. So with DAZN, they just have a monthly subscription option. And their monthly subscription option is $20 a month. So you think of it, 6-7 months of the season, I pay $140, $120. You know what I mean? So that's not bad. But I do have Game Pass, obviously, for all 22 and such. So, but I don't have American Game Pass. I have UK Game Pass. Way better than American. Way better than American, man. Way better. So I can't believe they gouge y'all like that. That is ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous. PFF, they put out an article going over the best offseason moves for all 16 AFC teams. You see Von Miller front and center. The offseason, NFL teams across the AFC loaded up on top-end talent like we've never seen before, with blockbuster trades becoming something of a regularity. However, the priciest moves aren't always the best moves, and they may not have the largest impact on the team's success. There's more than one way to have a good offseason, as it can be necessary for certain clubs to take one step back before leaping 2 steps forward. Here is the best move for each team in the AFC this offseason. And what they chose for us actually might surprise you. They chose signing Terron Armstead, not trading for Tyreek Hill. And they said, we've now lauded Armstead's contract in our top 32 NFL contracts article and as the Dolphins' best contract, but we can now turn our attention to the on-field upgrade he represents. Here's how Armstead stacks up to the left tackles Miami has started in the 3 seasons since trading Laremy Tunsil to the Texans. So, at left tackle, in the past 3 seasons, we have an overall grade of 50.9 at the position, a pass blocking grade of 50.1, pressures allowed of 8.3%, and a run blocking grade of 47.9%. Terron Armstead's overall grade in those 3 seasons has been 86.5. His pass blocking grade has been 89.4. Pressures allowed has been 3.9%, and his run blocking grade has been 73. So such a huge upgrade. And we'll talk about this in a sec once we finish this. The addition of wide receiver Tyreek Hill dramatically improves the potential for any offense. But if Hill and Jalen Waddle need time to get open on longer developing plays downfield, Armstead will go a very long way in providing Tua Tagovailoa adequate time to get the ball out. Now, I think this signing would be even more impactful if they got center right and Connor Williams was next to him, right? Like, I'm watching Trent Williams, and he joined. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he joined the Madden 99 club, right? And I remember they traded a 3rd and a 5th for him a couple years ago. And everyone thought Trent Williams was washed. He had this cancer scare. Everyone thought he was on the downside of his career. Everyone thought he was not going to add up and become the player we all thought he would be one day. Now, the guy's a 99 overall in Madden. Other than Aaron Donald, he was arguably the best player in football last year. And you look at what Terron Armstead is. Terron Armstead's coming over. He's not a wash. Terron Armstead's already considered a top 3, top 5 tackle in football. Imagine what he's going to become under Mike McDaniel and in this offense if they did what they did with Trent Williams, who had all the tools and they extracted everything out of him. Like, it's a scary thought when you think about what Terron Armstead could be, right? It is a scary thought. And I think, the higher chance of reaching that ceiling is with Connor Williams next to him, not with Connor Williams at center. Now, again, I will say, until they give me no reason to trust them, I will trust in their moves. I will give them the benefit of the doubt. But I am looking at this move and not handling center. Listen, I said this a couple shows ago. If you're going to trade Gaskin, trade him to Washington and try and get a Keith Ishmael. If you are not going to trade him for a player and trade for a pick, go get Matt Pilardi. Matt Pilardi was the center in Denver's outside zone scheme when Philip Lindsay had those years he had. I'm just saying, if you want to see peak Terron Armstead in our jersey, put Connor Williams next to him. And you'll even see Connor Williams go to a level he never reached in Dallas, which is another scary thought. I mean, we could have the best left side in football, at least in the AFC, but we are splitting it up because they couldn't get center right. All because last year's draft, they had to trade up for Eichenberg instead of staying pat and getting Creed Humphrey. And what I don't like, and I said this to EM yesterday when we were on the phone, I don't like that Chris Grier is treating our center position like it's the fucking running back position. I don't like that at all. I absolutely despise that, to be honest with you. And I don't know how these offensive line gurus we got are letting that shit slide. And like I said, the scary thought too is, we're talking about Armstead here. We got to account for 2 or 3 games that Armstead's not going to play. So that tells me whoever the runner-up loser in the right tackle battle is, they're going to have to slide into that position. Another scary thought. We haven't taken care of our depth properly. We haven't taken care of the center position properly. And it's glaring right now. So we'll see how it plays out. But man, I got, I got my, I got my doubts, but I'll trust them until they give me reason not to trust them. I did the same with Flores. I'll do the same with this staff. They know a whole hell of a lot more than I do. So we'll see how it plays out. What's going on, George? How you doing, brother? Always a pleasure to see you in the comments, my guy. Day one right there. Day one supporter. Indeed, that was a terrible impression because you didn't use bro one single time. Terrible impression. F for effort. Oh, I've already said I'm sure he has a plan. They clearly had a plan in place when they didn't tell Connor Williams that he was going to be playing center during the negotiation process. And then after we signed him is when they said, oh, yeah, we want you playing center. Clearly, they had an idea in place of, okay, we're going to get this guy in and we're going to shift him center because Dieter's trash. But I also have said this too. Like Tua Tagovailoa in his rookie year, I said that move for him to start came from upstairs. I didn't believe Flores made that call himself because 2 weeks prior, he's telling all of us, if that was my kid, I wouldn't put him out there. Then what happened in 2 weeks? All of a sudden, a freaking, you rubbed a bottle and a genie popped out and everything turned, 110%. Come on, bro. I'm not that naive. I think it's kind of the same thing right now. And it's kind of the same thing with Tua, right? We talk about it in the sense of, okay, they brought McDaniel in, from what I understand, McDaniel showed them, you've heard him talk about his thousands of hours of cut-ups. Well, I was told he put together a cut-up video of Matt Ryan and past quarterbacks he's worked with making throws he needs his quarterback to make in this offense. And then he showed a similar video, which was Tua from his Alabama to his professional days, making those throws in the cut-up he had just shown them, saying, see, Tua can make those throws. So I think that's why they said, okay, give Tua another year. Let's see if you can make it work. The same thing with Eichenberg and Jackson. I think they're saying, we invested high capital in these guys. You've brought in a bunch of offensive line gurus. Give it a year, see if you can make it work. If not, we'll go back into investing in the offensive line and go get guys you want. That's what I think. That's what I think the conversation went down like. That's what I think. Shout out to Ron for the $4.99 sticker. Shout out to Ron. Always been supporting me. Again, day one, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to CB83. Go check him out. I think he started a new channel, Finn's Take. I'm guessing by his YouTube name. What up, bro? Appreciate you. Oh, and I got no problem with Connor Williams at center. It's just let's realize what it is for what it is. Okay? This isn't left guard. Right? There's a lot more of this involved in center. And now he's at a disposition where, remember, guys are exploding out of their stance as soon as that ball moves for the snap. He's not exploding out of his stance until the quarterback takes the ball out of his hand. So he's behind on the snap, and he's got to get up here pre-snap with protections, et cetera, et cetera. It's a lot, man. It's a lot on his plate. This is a big transition. Sure, do I think he can get it down? Why not? But we can't sit here and say we expect Pro Bowler right out of the gate. You got to know there's going to be some learning curve here, right? I've heard both Connor and Michael Dieter have had snapping issues as well. So, I hope, part of me is hoping that this is a two-phase process in terms of, one, they're either trying to scare the shit out of Dieter, get yourself right before we come back for camp, or this guy's taking your job, or number two, okay, Dieter's not the guy. We're going to roll with Connor till there's a cut on another team during training camp, or we make a move on to Treader or Pilardi and slide him in. I'm hoping it's one of those two. Either get the fear of God in Dieter to get his ish together so he can be that center and Connor can move back to left guard, or roll with Connor at center until a surprise cut comes down the wire during camp, or they make progress with a Treader or a Matt Pilardi or someone like that. And I agree with what was it Garn 79? I agree with what Garn said. I think Dieter's messed up what they wanted to do. Think of it, boys and think of it, boys and girls. If Dieter was correct, I want y'all to think about this for a sec. If Dieter had his shit together, Terron Armstead, next to him, Connor Williams, Dieter with his shit together in the middle, Robert Hunt, future Pro Bowl, all-pro right guard, and then all we're worrying about is right tackle. We're gravy train, baby. Gravy train. We only got one hole to fill, right tackle. A guy with two is elite pocket presence. He's only got to have that feel for one spot on the field, not this spot, that spot, this spot. He's only got to worry about one area being real leaky potentially. Right? And that left side, Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert's best friend. And Sony Michel and Secondary White, best friend. That's their best friend, that left side, if we got the center right. What's crazy is we are living in the ripple and domino effect of not getting the center right now. You just have Eichenberg and Austin Jackson battling at right tackle instead of us hearing Eichenberg's going to be at left guard, worrying to shit about his anchor, and at the same time worrying is Austin Jackson going to turn into the guy that they drafted. So, I don't know, man. We're feeling the ripple effects of not getting the center position shored up right now. That's just the reality of the situation we're living in. And our depth is very questionable. I mean, I want y'all to think about this for a sec. If Terron Armstead misses 2 or 3 games, I mean, and Eichenberg is stuck at left guard because we got no one else, and Austin Jackson is right tackle, is Greg Little starting at left tackle? Or is Robert Jones? Ouch. Right back to where we were last year, just with Connor Williams in the middle now. Continuing on here, what makes an ideal wide receiver corps? And the reason I'm going to bring this up here is an article from Bleacher Report. They asked that question, and they talked about us in this. So they said a revolution occurred in professional football in the turn of the century. The St. Louis Rams offense emerged as the greatest show on turf and led the NFL in passing for 3 consecutive seasons. That streak ended after the 2001 campaign. During that period, the Rams, who were led by Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner, averaged 4,992 passing yards per season. That's ridiculous. 25 years later, 9 different teams threw for 500 or more yards. Further comparison shows only 2 teams eclipsed 4,000 passing yards in 2001. Nearly half of the league passed that number last season. Yes, the NFL is a passing league. To take full advantage of how the game has been trending over the last 2 decades, teams need weapons on the outside. Those playmakers are now more valuable than ever as the league continues to evolve. And the influx of talent from collegiate ranks creates more opportunities in the passing game. Last season, all 32 teams had 3 or more wide receivers on the field on 60% of their snaps, according to Sharp Football's Warren Sharp. Let's backtrack for a second. While Warner's American Underdog story became the basis of a Hollywood film, his wide receivers shouldn't be considered secondary characters. Isaac Bruce is in the Hall of Fame. Torrey Holt should be in the Hall of Fame, 7-time Pro Bowler. Azir Hakim was so slept on as a deep threat. And Ricky Prohl played 17 seasons in the league. The talent found among this group helped create a storybook ending. Traditionally, NFL economics were built around the concept of 4 premium positions: quarterback, offensive tackle, pass rusher, and cornerback, held the most value based in part of how they affected passing games. Wide receivers officially crashed the party this offseason as an avalanche of movement occurred at that position, which helped reset the market. The Green Bay Packers traded the game's best wide receiver, Davante Adams, to the Raiders, and he subsequently signed a record-setting $140 million contract. The Dolphins acquired Tyreek Hill from the Kansas City Chiefs and signed him to a $120 million deal. The Dallas Cowboys flipped Amari Cooper and his $100 million contract to the Browns. Tennessee Titans decided to trade A.J. Brown to Philadelphia during draft weekend, and then he signed a new $100 million agreement. Those are just the biggest moves of the offseason so far. Currently, 12 different wide receivers are under contract with average annual salaries between $20 to $30 million. 9 of those deals were agreed upon within the last few months. Only 3 offensive tackles are making $20 million per season. Only 1 has at least a $100 million deal compared to 4 at wide receiver. A similar financial trajectory has taken place at cornerback, where 3 players at the position make $20 million or more annually, with 2 claiming at least $100 million in total value. Scarcity remains the biggest difference between the traditional premium spots and the upstart position. Only 32 starting quarterbacks exist, and some argue the NFL can't even find enough quality options to fill all of those spots. Only so many men are big enough, strong enough, and athletic enough to protect a quarterback at a high level from left or right tackle. Cornerbacks are arguably the most athletically gifted players on the field. Meanwhile, anyone with enough length, flexibility, core strength, and explosivity tends to find his way to the defensive front to harass the opposing signal callers. Wide receivers different, various body types, speed, skills, and skill sets can thrive in today's game. For example, Buccaneers' Mike Evans is 6'5", 231 pounds, and one of the league's best at working down the field and sideline, whereas the Raiders' Hunter Renfrow is 5'10", 185 pounds, and extremely slippery working out of the slot. Yet the two finished only 3 yards apart with last season's production. Therein lies the value of being elite in a specific role. Defenses are adept at keying in on specific talents in order to take them out of the equation or adjusting to make sure a player or a concept won't repeatedly beat them. When a team has wide receivers with complementary skill sets, the position is far more difficult to defend. An opponent can't consistently roll coverage towards one player or bracket one option. Aside from Adams, there's not a wide receiver who consistently takes over games with little to no help from his fellow targets. It's important not to have the same types of weapons. Next receiver, wide receiver, and those working the slot typically have different body types and abilities, making much like a starting 5 on a basketball court. On the gridiron, a squad should want a taller target, a vertical threat, and someone with the quickness and quickly separate to quickly separate while working from the slot. Not everyone runs the routes the same way or has similar ways to win against tight coverage. Those differences often lead to cohesion and greater effectiveness within the offensive scheme. The NFL's top 5 receiving corps. The league's best wide receiver corps have players with varied skill sets as well as plenty of depth. It's not just about the top individual wide receivers. That's why it became necessary to exclude the likes of the Bills, the Eagles, the Chargers, and Saints, though all 3 were strongly considered. The 5 best wide receiver corps of the 2022 season are filled with high-end producers, significant potential, and plenty of quality options. And looky who's at the top of the listy, baby. Number 5, well, bottom of the list, but number 5, top of theirs. Number 5, they got Miami Dolphins. And they listed Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson, Eric Ezukanma, and Lynn Bowden Jr. They said the Dolphins paid an exorbitant amount to acquire Hill, sending a first-round pick, a second-round selection, 2 fourths, and a 6th-rounder to the Kansas City Chiefs, but his on-field performance could be well worth it. 28-year-old wideout is one of the game's premier deep threat and the league's most explosive target. Jalen Waddle broke the rookie record last season with 104 receptions. Cedric Wilson set a career highs in 2021 with 45 receptions for 602 yards with the Cowboys. All three present inside-out versatility. The Dolphins also added Eric Uzakama, who is 6'2", 206-pound target in this year's 4th round. And then at number 4, they have Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Demarcus Robinson, Kalen Cole, Mac Hollins. I think we're actually deeper than them. I don't agree with that. I think Waddle's a better number 2 than Hunter, even though Hunter's better than Wilson. And Devontae and Tyreek basically almost cancel each other out. So I don't agree. I think we're higher than the Raiders. Now the Rams have Cooper Kupp, Allen Robertson, Van Jefferson, and Ben Skowronek and Tutu Atwell. Again, after you get past those top 2 guys, I like our depth beyond Waddle and Hill better than their depth beyond Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson. I'm taking Cedric Wilson over Van Jefferson. I'm taking Eric Uzakama and his potential over Ben Skowronek. As far as Tutu Atwell is concerned, Lynn Bowden Jr. is going to be better than him. All right. Number 2, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Russell Gage, Tyler Johnson, Brashard Perryman. Now, I agree. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Russell Gage, look what he did at Atlanta. Everyone knows I've loved Tyler Johnson since college. Huge Tyler Johnson fan out of Minnesota. Brashard Perryman, I mean, if he turns into what the Ravens hoped he was drafted, that's a pretty good on depth. That's freaking deep as hell. So right now I got us at 3 and Tampa at 2. And then at number 1, they put Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Mike Thomas, and Trent Taylor. I'm taking Tyreek over Jamar. I'm taking Waddle over T. I'm taking Tyler Boyd over Wilson. I'm taking Izukama over Mike Thomas. And I'll take Lynn Bowden over Trent Taylor. So if you want my honest opinion, I'm going like this. Tampa 1, us at 2, and I'm going Bengals at 3. So they got them at 1. I get it. They went to the Super Bowl. It's hot to talk about. Cool. I'm not going to catch any feelings. Is what it is. And one little final thing I wanted to show you guys, just because this kind of blew my mind when I saw it, and I thought it might blow your guys' mind. Guys, if you think about what we've been since Marino left, isn't it? I mean, tell me it's not absolutely like inconceivable. If I told you that, I'm going to show you. I'm not even going to tell you it, because if I told you, you'd think, oh, that's inconceivable. What are you talking about, Reason? You're going to crack. But what's crazy to me is, since Marino left, we've been pretty mediocre the majority of those 20 years. And yet we are still number 5 in the NFL's winningest franchise in NFL history, still at 55.3%. We're still a top 5 winning franchise in the NFL, even though the last 20 years have been what they've been. And you know what? Let's move up this ladder, baby. Let's move up this ladder with what we're building under McDaniel and with this offense, man. I thought that was just an interesting stat of the day to throw your guys' way. I thought that was really kind of crazy that we're a top 5 winning franchise and we ain't won shit in a long time. So it's kind of crazy, man. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Adwell can get blown off course by the wind. So, again, I think us and the Bucs are the 2 best and the 2 deepest receiving cores. And then I would have, really, you can't go wrong with us, the Bucs, or the Bengals right now. You really can't. Right? So, guys, 332 of you in the room. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. We were only 3 away from 6,400 when we started this stream. Let's pass that. Listen, guys, I appreciate all of y'all. I'm going to be back either tomorrow or Wednesday. I haven't figured it out yet. I was working on that Tyreek Hill, but my whole household got sick this weekend, minus me. So I was taking care of everyone. So, yeah. So I'm still hammering away on that Tyreek Hill. That'll come this week. And I've added another layer to the Mike McDaniel film study we're going to be doing I've added another little wrinkle to it, so y'all are going to really like that. So those are my next 2 film studies up for you. I'm going to be back either tomorrow or Wednesday. Keep it posted here. I'll be back around the same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern. I got some stuff in the works I'm trying to work out for this week as well. So we'll see how that all unfolds. But listen, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you. I hope y'all are happy, healthy, safe, and blessed, enjoying time with your family. Take it easy on this Monday night and get ready for tomorrow. Go back to work, and guess what, guys? We're only 8 days away from rookies reporting to training camp. Smell that? Football's in the air, baby. Let's go. Check your pulse. Fins up all day, every day, baby.